Hi everybody, Max Lucado here. I'm sure thinking of you today, thinking of what you're going through and what you're facing, and very prayerful for you. These are unprecedented days, but gratefully, we have a great God, and many prayers are being answered. So let's remain grateful, let's remain prayerful, and I might add another word today. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's guard our thoughts. Let's manage our minds. And let's don't allow ourselves to downward spiral into that pit, that deep pit of anxiety. I want to talk to you about one way to do this, and that is developing a plan for moving forward. Now, this may not appeal to you. I certainly understand that. You may have it all figured out, or maybe you just are not in the mood for this. Whatever. God bless you. Put your prayer needs on the prayer request page. It's basically my Facebook page or my web page. Just let us know how we can pray for you. We've got a lot of people praying over this list every day, so we want to support you in that way. And I would like to encourage you to keep in mind the story of Joseph. I just keep in my mind going back to the story of Joseph in the Old Testament, because he was the one who led a nation through a global calamity, a worldwide famine. And he did so with such clarity and such calmness. In fact, I'm so encouraged by the story of Joseph that I've reached out to my publisher, and we've worked out a way to post an online study of Joseph beginning on May the 3rd. The video portion will be absolutely free. And it's based on this book that I wrote called You'll Get Through This. You'll Get Through This. I believe that our God is a God who gets people through things. It's not easy, it's not quick, and we're not ones to tell him how to respond, but we're ones to turn to him. So we'll know how to respond. And that's really the message of this book. And so I'm really excited that that's available beginning May the 3rd, but you can sign up right now. You can go to maxlucado.com and sign up for this. Again, the video portion, absolutely free. I taped it 4 or 5 years ago, so you don't be surprised how much younger I looked back in the days when we could get haircuts, for sure. One thing that we can take away from the story of Joseph is that he moved into his problem with a plan. He moved into his problem with a plan. Quick summary. Joseph was the son of Jacob, who was mistreated by his brothers and sold into slavery, ended up overcoming that obstacle, working his way up to the point that he was prime minister of Egypt because he interpreted a dream and he knew a famine was coming. And he came up with a plan that was so simple that Pharaoh not only agreed to it, but he entrusted to Joseph the entire implementation of that plan. It was simple. Save grain for 7 years. Distribute grain for 7 years, and then encourage the people to manage their resources. And that's what he did. He came up with a plan. When his brothers came to him, I'm opening my Bible now, to the book of Genesis. And when his brothers came needing food, he told me, God sent me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years the famine has been in the land. There's still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting, and God sent me before you. He saw that his job was to protect the people because he understood that God was still in the middle of the famine. And so he came up with a plan. Well, this isn't very profound, but I'm going to encourage you to do the same. One way to deal with anxiety is healthy activity. You see, anxiety and fret and fear, they paralyze us. They immobilize us. They get us stuck on the couch and we don't think, and we just assume the worst is going to happen. Combat that. Respond to that by developing a plan. Follow the example of Joseph. Just develop an index card size plan. What's next? Okay, this is going to be around. It doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. Even if the virus disappears, we got the economy to deal with. Don't get caught up in that negative thought. Pull yourself up by God's grace and say, okay, now what can I do? Your plan might look something like this. Okay, every day I'm going to pray. every day. I'm going to start in prayer, and I'm going to give to God all my concerns. And number two, I'm going to seek some advice. Somebody somewhere has been through this, and I'm going to find them. And you call around, or you email, or you text, you find somebody, maybe a little more seasoned, maybe a little more experienced, and you ask them, when you went through this, what did you do and what did you learn? Number three, reallocate your resources. Maybe you haven't been budgeting. Now's the time to learn to budget. Maybe you have been budgeting, but you're going to have to reframe that budget. Take a good long look and identify exactly what your needs are. And then once you understand those needs, take them to your Heavenly Father. You see, the devil, he works in this world of nebulous thoughts. I'm never going to have enough, or I'm always going to be under attack, or we're never going to get out of this. He loves those frightening thoughts. But if you can analyze and assess what you have and then what you need, and take that need to your Heavenly Father, this is the command, the encouragement, the admonition of Paul. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and petition, just make your requests known to God. So come up with a plan. Come up with a plan. Present your needs to God, but don't allow yourself to be immobile, okay? This is the time to be assessing and then moving forward with a plan. God's going to get us through this. Some years ago, I became fascinated with that slogan, keep calm and carry on. And I did a little bit of research. I came to learn that slogan was a poster created by Great Britain in the days of World War II. Actually, it was number 3 of 3 posters. The first one was all printed and distributed and appeared all over the British countryside. The first one read like this. Sorry, wrong page. There it is. Your courage, your cheerfulness, and your resolution will bring us victory. Soon thereafter was, freedom is in peril, defend it with all your might. And then there was a third one that was developed, and it was printed in 2.5 million copies were printed, but they were never used. They were never used. It was to be distributed in case of attack by the German army and invasion of the German army. Well, since invasion never happened, those 2.5 million were set in storage. We'd probably never know about them except for a bookstore owner who was auctioning off some old books and found that poster, and he put it up on the wall, and it became so popular that people began adopting that phrase as their mantra. And it began, as you know, appearing in a variety of fashions. Keep calm and carry on. Well, long before those words were on a poster, they were in the life of Joseph. He kept calm and he carried on. He just kept moving forward. He kept moving forward. He kept moving forward. And God's going to help you, my friend. Take a deep breath. Keep calm. Turn your problems over to God and carry on.